It's me, Adam. I made a scripted video on One Battle After Another. I don't think Sitch has watched it, but I want to get his feedback on both the video and the movie itself. So, and you started telling me before we began your experience with this movie. It involved a lot of texting and tweeting. And what were you doing?
Well,
You on
so
your
no,
phone most of the time.
I had just before the stream started, I had to rewatch the last half of it because I had watched it like 2 weeks ago. I had forgotten most of it because this movie is so horrible, so
Mm-hmm.
boring. Okay. Take all the politics out of it, right? Because I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the only, like that's like what's generated so much buzz. Take all the politics out of this movie, reverse politics. This is one of the most boring movies I've ever seen. So the first time I watched it, even though I'm watching it at home streaming, I'm still like half of it like paying attention because I'm on my phone because I can't watch this movie. It's so goddamn boring.
Well, I thought there are long stretches that are boring. The first half of the movie, I was hooked on the storyline that they set up, but they never. I mean, I guess it's my fault that I thought they were actually setting up a story because the story that I thought we were watching just completely vanished in the second half of the movie. I was invested in the whose kid is this and how is that conflict gonna be resolved? But it turns out, look, it's not even a conflict. It's like it's not really a conflict at all. He doesn't care whose kid he's raising.
Right, right. No,
Yeah.
okay, so should we watch your? I haven't actually seen your video, so this would be interesting. We've never talked. Well, I guess we
Well,
talked a little bit about it on Sunday, but we haven't talked
I
extensively
I
about
would
this
be
movie.
interested. I would just be interested to get your broad strokes before we
Okay,
watch my video. Because
the
look,
my
I
right,
I saw this movie and I was like, okay, I should do a video on this because
yeah,
there's a lot here to digest, and I know people are gonna love this movie, obviously because it has the revolutionary aesthetic, and Hollywood
yeah.
is it's a movie for them, right? So they're gonna go crazy, and I'm just gonna disagree and on the story, the just the structure of the story I completely disagree on. So I thought I want to get my thoughts out. So that's why I was definitely motivated to make this video. So what are your broad strokes on it?
This movie is the worst movie of the year. It is worse than the Ice Cube movie. Okay,
No,
the
look,
Ice
that's
War of
way
the
too far.
Worlds.
Look,
No, no,
way
no,
too
no.
far.
I
Sitch,
will give you my rationale.
way too
I will give
far.
you my rationale. The
Uh
reason for
huh.
that is that the Ice Cube movie was so bad, it was enjoyable to watch in like the room like quality.
Okay.
Okay. It
Okay.
was
I
so bad, it
got
was
it.
funny. This movie is just bad and boring.
Yeah.
There's nothing redeeming about this movie whatsoever at
It's
all.
part of look, some of it I was even wondering, especially when the bank scene comes in and the woman jumps up on the counter. I think we both remarked on how just
Yes.
completely out of place that was. There's a clip of that in the video, so we'll be able to watch it with the audience. But I for a minute there I thought, well, maybe they are going for the room for like the ice cube thing. Maybe this is they know what they're doing here.
Well, here's my thought before we watch your review on it because I'm curious. I'm sure you probably brought this up too. Okay. I'm watching this movie. I can't tell when I get to the end of it, I cannot tell if this movie is supposed to be a parody that's making fun of Hollywood or just Paul Thomas Anderson is so out of touch and so narcissistically egotistical that he's become a parody of himself. I cannot tell which one of these is true. Which I
Hmm.
guess that could make the movie interesting within itself if you kind of analyze it through that lens. Because in this movie, you have the protagonist is Leonardo DiCaprio's character. Okay, he like once like the first 40 minutes I think of the movie are just set up. They're just like a flashback sort of to establish the rest of the movie. Once you get into modern times in the movie, Leonardo DiCaprio's character, the protagonist of the film, does literally nothing.
Yeah,
He
totally.
does absolutely nothing the entire movie. No action the hero of the movie takes has any influence or impact on the story whatsoever.
Yeah.
He does nothing. The entire movie is him trying to find his daughter to save his daughter. And you know what he never does? He never saves his daughter
Never
because
once. Yeah.
no, because everyone else in the entire universe conspires to save her, including herself, and he does nothing. He just shows up at the end and is like, "Oh, hey, you need a ride? You're finally
No,
here after you
he's
saved yourself."
he's a
Um,
glorified Uber driver.
and that so I'm like, okay. So then my thought is, well, there's like this weird thing because Leonardo DiCaprio's character, I hate to bring this up. I want to just analyze this movie devoid of politics, but I don't think it's possible because it is very intentional that Leonardo DiCaprio is like the only white male protagonist in the movie. All the other white, there's one other one
What
who's
do you mean,
also
Lockjaw?
well
Lockjaw,
protagonist.
the bounty hunter.
He's the bad guy, right? All the bad guys are white. There's one other white revolutionary, and they intentionally make him super woke and annoying,
Oh,
which
you're
is
right. The
interesting.
guy on the phone.
The guy on the phone, right? So, but
Well,
the
no,
only the o-
there is the guy that puts together the devices. He's white too. So,
okay, yeah, it's true, but you don't really see him for like he's only in the beginning. But so you have
well,
Leonardo DiCaprio is like
they
this white
arrest
male
him, and he,
character, and every scene with him is designed intentionally to make him as lame and pathetic as possible. Every
yes,
scene is just him being lame and pathetic intentionally. I'm not just saying like, oh, that's what I experience. No, no, no. He is written to be a pathetic, lame loser who is horribly incompetent and a drug addict and just flounders through every scene while all these supporting characters basically try to help him do a bunch of things. He can do nothing on his own. He does one thing. The only thing he does on his own after the flashback, because in the flashback, like, okay, he used to make bombs, I guess, so he seemed like he was kind of competent. After that, in the entire movie, the only thing that he does is that he hot wires a car.
yeah, I
That's the
noticed that.
only action he takes. I'm like, oh, he did something. And then all he does by hot wiring the car is pick up his daughter after she saves herself from the bad guys.
Yeah,
Okay. So I'm like, well, this is weird. So you have this main character who does literally nothing the whole movie. Is that could just be like really horribly written, maybe some weird political message. But then I thought about it even more. And I said, wait a minute. The main beyond the main character, the main like good guy side, all the revolutionary characters, once the actual plot starts, nothing they do actually helps anything. If the plot of this movie, if you haven't seen it, is basically Leonardo DiCaprio is in this relationship with a revolutionary woman, like a woman who's part of this revolutionary group, and he's part of it too. And what their goal is that they're going to go around to like ICE detention facilities, and they're going to free illegal immigrants and allow them to live in the country illegally. And they're also going to afterwards set up some sort of illegal underground railroad to ship illegals into the country. This is what we're told that they're doing. This is what our heroes are doing. Okay. And and so the woman that he's in a relationship with, she's like a fucking psychopath and is evil. And in the beginning of the movie, when they're saving people from some ICE facility or saving like releasing illegals back into the country, there's a 60-year-old Sean Penn there. Okay. And he's a military guy. There's a very confused like chain of command because they keep saying that Sean Penn, who has the dumbest name ever, it's Sergeant Lockjaw, which also makes me think, is this supposed to be like a joke? He's, I don't know why, like, there's like this weird confusion of like ICE facilities also have like military leadership. And then even though he's in the military, he has police working for him for the rest of the movie. I don't know. None of this is explained. Whatever. So maybe this is all satire. But in the beginning of the movie, when they're saving illegals from this immigrant detention facility, okay, the woman who's supposed to be the strong, independent woman who don't need no man sexually assaults a 60-year-old man at gunpoint.
no,
Right. Now he's not. So if he was like hot, maybe you'd be like, okay, maybe she's. But no, he's not hot. He's ugly. He's old. She's like married to
none
Leonardo
of this is
DiCaprio.
ever resolved in the movie either.
No,
None of it
no.
ever is made clear why she did that, or
Yes,
she's got a
yes.
kink for 60-year-old military
Is
men.
it just power? Yeah, like yeah. We have no clue why she does this, and
And then she
now
ends
she
up fucking the guy and having his baby, which is
yes.
like,
So
what?
she's
Why?
I know,
Why?
no, it's completely insane. It's completely insane. So, and by the way, so she's like married to Leonardo DiCaprio. You're like, okay, we have 6-year-old
Is
Sean
she?
Penn. We have
There's
Leonardo
no evidence
DiCaprio.
that she's married.
Well, they're
Like
like in a relationship
they're
or something.
together.
I don't know. They're
Yes.
together,
Yeah.
right? Yes. So, and I know they made Leonardo look dumpy in the movie, but still, you're choosing 60-year-old Sean Penn over Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm sorry. What the fuck are you doing? So she sexually assaults him by making him jack off in front of her by at gunpoint. And then the movie shows
He doesn't jack off in front of her. He just gets a hard on.
no, doesn't
There's
he?
no. He doesn't jack off in front of her. Now you're
Okay,
going
whatever.
crazy.
She makes no. You
He
don't
has
see
to
it.
get a hard on. You can see his hard on
No, I'm not
through
saying you
his
see it, but like yeah, no,
fatigues, but
he's rubbing himself, and then you don't see it, but then it like zooms out, and you see that he has an erection in his pants, and so like right in the
yes.
beginning of the movie, it's and the camera's like zooming in on a 60-year-old man with a boner in his pants. Okay, and she's like making him like walk through the facility with a bone. It's so weird. You're like, what am I watching? And apparently, Sean Penn was into this. Okay, apparently he liked this, and he could never like get this out of his mind that he had this weird sexual encounter with this
Not
random
not
crazy person.
Sean Penn, Lockjaw.
Lockjaw,
Yeah.
yes. What is Sean Penn? But
Maybe
yes,
Sean Penn, but we
yes.
don't know about.
This Lockjaw character is Commander Lockjaw, Sergeant Lockjaw, and so he then spends like the rest of the next of the like the 40 minutes of the flashback trying to find this woman again, track her down so that he can have sex with her because he's
Yes.
just so enamored with what she made him do, and then he does. And it's kind of like at first, it's sort of like, oh, well, he's kind of coercing her into do it, but then it seems like she's actually into it. And then so the whole movie, you're like, okay, is this child that now this woman has raised with Leonardo DiCaprio? Is it who's the father? Is it Leo's child or is it Sean Penn's child?
Yeah, essentially that's the entire conflict of the movie. And it's never well, no, that's actually resolved, but it's never resolved in a way that's satisfying because the movie ends and we don't even know if Bob knows he's a fucking cuck or not. Like
Yeah,
we
we
don't
don't
know
know.
if Bob knows he's raising someone else's
Bob is
child.
Leonardo DiCaprio's character name, yes, Bob.
Yeah.
And so, and what I'm going to explain to you is going to, if you haven't seen this movie, what I'm going to explain to you is going to sound infinitely more interesting than how it actually happens. So the rest of the movie, once we get back to like modern times, is that Colonel Lockjaw is going to be inducted into a secret organization of
Mhm.
evil white racists. I'm
Yeah.
not joking. They are actual evil white racists who control America behind the scenes in the shadows. And for
Do,
some reason,
do they really
they
control America? I mean,
well
I don't
they make it sound like they control America.
right.
But so and for some reason they worship Santa Claus.
Oh, I found it. I found it. Here's the still of Lockjaw with his heart on.
I'm so glad you found yes.
Well,
For
just
some reason
people have to. It's so ridiculous. It is
it's
so
insane.
and look, this is in the first 5 minutes of the movie,
Yes.
and
This is the opening scene. I'm like, what am I
what?
watching? Yes.
You're going, what the fuck? You're like,
Yes.
why is this supposed to be to humiliate him? Is that the goal of the scene?
I don't
I
know.
mean, he ends up fucking her, and
Yes.
she has his baby. Who's the
Yes.
one being humiliated here?
That's what I'm saying. Is this movie like a joke? Is this movie like some sort of like brilliant parody? Because I could,
Right.
if this movie's a brilliant parody, I'll take back every bad thing I say about this and say Paul Thomas
No,
Anderson is a
it's
genius. Okay.
they flubbed the execution if that's the case because we need to know.
No,
We need
that's
to
what
know
makes it
what
a
it is.
like
No,
all
no,
Hollywood's gonna be
I
like, oh, this is
completely
such a good
disagree.
movie, and they don't realize that they're being made fun
If
of.
ever look,
Okay.
if the whole world evaluated Step Brothers as a serious movie, I would think, okay, you guys are fucking crazy.
Maybe.
Yeah, you
So
can't look if it had that tone, if it had a Will Ferrell kind of tone, I'd be like, okay, well, this movie. Well, look, I still think they need to resolve in the end if Bob knows he's a cuck or not. He's supposed
right.
to be the hero of the movie. And look, people keep saying, "Oh, he's not a hero. He's the anti-hero." Fuck you.
He's nothing.
Fuck you. If you are not even able to perceive the conflict that they created, like no, go away. Fuck you.
No, he's not. He's not an anti-hero because again, his actions have no impact on on the plot whatsoever
No, yeah, look,
at
but
all.
he is the biggest face on the movie poster. Like he's supposed to be his story.
Yes.
This is his
Yeah.
story, right? He's the one
Right.
that's in the movie the whole way through.
It's
He's the
not his
big
story.
celebrity. He's the star.
No, if Bob died in the beginning of the modern time section, nothing would have changed in the
No,
movie.
I agree, but that
Yeah.
is bad filmmaking.
Oh, of
When you have
course.
a hero that is completely inactive, you have a main character, a protagonist who's completely inactive. I think both of us would say that's bad storytelling.
Oh, yes.
100
Horrible.
times. Yeah. See,
Horrible.
that's my
Unless
take.
it's satire, unless it's supposed to be some kind of genius level 10D chess satire. Okay.
I mean, even in Step Brothers, they had the Catalina wine mixer. Come on.
I know, no, but
Give
that's
us
yeah, but
something.
no, I'm saying like a satire in terms of it's supposed to be so
Mm.
like 10D chess level satire, making fun like a meta making fun of Hollywood. Now
Look,
this is a
and I am
stretch.
saying,
Okay,
look,
this is
and
a
I am
big
saying,
stretch.
even in
Okay, I
satire,
understand what you're
there
saying.
is a competent resolution to the
No, 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 no,
story.
no. You're
Yeah,
okay. You're thinking of. I'm not saying it's not a satire movie like Step Brothers is a satire movie or The Other Guy's a satire movie. It's a like a meta satire about how Hollywood views movies itself. In which case, it being intentionally like horribly written
right.
would be
Okay.
part of the joke. But I agree with you. It's so if that's true, it would be so subtle. It's too subtle. Like how could you ever
The
figure this
joke
out?
is that they set out to make the worst movie of all time, and everyone lavishes praise on it. It's a emperor has no clothes
Sort
situation.
of because
Yeah.
here's why I say that. Okay, and I have to kind of explain the plot here to lay this argument out. Okay, so the plot is in we jump forward to modern times. Oh, so also the woman whose name is so stupid. It's Perfidious Beverly Hills. Okay, or Perfidia
It's
Beverly Hills.
Prophetia Beverly Hills.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have Perfidia Beverly Hills and Sergeant Stephen Larcha. So we have Perfidia Beverly Hills, which sounds like the most retarded name ever, who's this crazy revolutionary, like LARPist psychopath who's had sex now with Colonel Lockjaw and cheated on Leonardo DiCaprio. And maybe he's raising a cuck baby that he doesn't know about. Um,
So
so
it's
then
so pathetic.
he also gets arrested and she rats out everyone in the organization. So our strong female character not only is a sexual assaulter, but she's also a rat, and she
Mhm.
rats everybody out because she's a piece of shit. Okay. Then we jump forward to modern times, and the plot is set off because Lockjaw is about to be inducted into a secret organization of evil white racist men who control America, and they're like, and they worship Santa Claus for some reason. They literally worship Santa Claus, and they say, "Hey, we want to induct you to be part of our secret white nationalist organization. We need to do like a background check to make sure that you're like a really good white racist. We can't have any of you, not being an evil white racist. What if you ever like sympathize with a black person once? You might get in trouble."
Mhm.
So
What if
he
you fucked
hears
one
this,
and they had your baby?
right? So he hears this, and then he, I guess, knew about the fact that Perfidia had a baby somehow and thought that maybe that it was his. So he decides to spend the rest of the movie trying to capture uh Perfidia's and Leo's daughter to do a DNA test in order to determine whether it's really his daughter or not. Um and we'll talk about this more when we get kind of into the whole plot, but throughout the whole movie essentially all the actions that the heroes take, not just Leonardo DiCaprio, all the heroes take are pointless because what happens is they try to like hide the heroes come, they try to hide Perfidia's daughter from Lockjaw. They go through this whole long rigmarole. They do hide her temporarily, but then he still finds her anyway and captures her, and he still does a DNA test anyway, and it looks like it's his daughter, and then he takes her to some hitman to kill her, and then for some reason, which I don't actually know if I missed it, but one of the hitmen randomly decides because he's not white to betray the other hitmen, and they all die in a shootout, and then she just leaves on, then Perfidia's daughter just leaves on her own and escapes, and then she's getting tracked down by the evil white racist, one of the leaders of the evil white racist club, and then she just kills him on his own anyway. So what that means is that if the heroes did nothing, okay, so if the heroes never found out about Lockjaw's plan, Lockjaw just went to her school, captured her, and did all the same things he was going to do anyway, the outcome of the movie would have been exactly the same. The only difference is that all the people that helped her along the way wouldn't have been arrested or killed. So actually, every action the heroes take in this movie only makes things worse for everyone else.
Hmm.
So that's why I'm wondering, is this some sort of 10D chess like brilliant satire because of that fact? And that the people lavishing praise on this movie are just too fucking stupid to realize that fact of the movie.
I think it would be going out on a limb to think Paul Thomas Anderson is secretly giving the middle finger to leftist Hollywood. That would be
I
a
agree.
tough claim to make. I mean, that's
It's
a
a stretch.
Candace Owens level claim there. You
You
gotta
could
you
be
gotta
right.
you gotta cook up some big fat evidence to
You
put that
could
forward.
be
But
correct.
look,
You
I
could
I
be correct.
mentioned this in the video. I mean I say Bob, like his actions are completely pointless. He could have stayed home and the outcome would be exactly the same. I think is the line I
Mhm.
have in the video. So, which is pretty much exactly what you said. So I think we agree on that.
Okay.
And look, you and I look. It's interesting. I've been watching a bunch of different YouTube videos on storytelling and filmmaking and media analysis and stuff like that. I'm super interested in it. I want to make more content in that genre. And movies, there is this thing where if the movie is well executed, well acted, people are willing to forgive a lot of story contrivances, right? And this movie
Hmm.
does look good. I mean, it looks. I don't have any problems with the performances. My big problem is with the story, the fucking script that they decided to make. So I think a lot of people look at the good acting and the good lighting and all the great camera work and all that stuff, and they're like, "This is a great movie," but
Hmm.
I can't do that. Like I am invested in the story, right? There's some
Right.
sort of conflict that is going to be resolved, right? Somebody wants something and is having difficulty getting it. Well, the only one in this movie that wants something is Lockjaw, the fucking antagonist.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I guess Leonardo DiCaprio wants his
He wants to save his daughter,
he wants to save his daughter, which
his
is
maybe
is
daughter,
look, is
his
the
cuck
second
baby.
half of the movie. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. But the really the biggest conflict in this story for me is the paternity, and they set it up perfectly for it to be interestingly resolved. I mean, there was one point where I thought, "Oh my god, are they really going to do this? Are they going to have a redemption arc for the racist?" I mean, that would be fucking wild. I can't imagine that.
Hmm.
What are the what's the leftist audience going to do if they actually if they had some sort of redemption arc for Lockjaw? Like
Lockjaw, like he realized
Lockjaw
that.
does the paternity test. Look, they Lockjaw in the movie treats this woman like she's his OnlyFans model. Like he's just a fucking simp for her, right? He's running
Right.
around trying to court her. He's bringing her flowers. He's staring at her lovingly when she's in the hospital bed. I mean, it seems like if he actually had a relationship with her, if she didn't ditch him, that he might have married the woman and had like a normal life, right?
Right.
So it seems like there could be some sort of turn there once he finds out, well, the kid is really his, where he decides, look, I'm going to save this kid from the Christmas adventures. Fuck these white supremacists. I'm going to team up with Bob and we're going to go like if this was a Quentin Tarantino movie, it would be all about going in and blowing up all of the Christmas adventures, right? Close up
Right.
shots of their heads exploding.
Right.
But I don't, can Hollywood even tell that movie?
No.
Yeah, because it'd be like, wait, he was a racist once. No
No.
redemption arc.
Well, it no, you're completely correct because and I was wondering the same thing too because there's this weird scene like the whole movie it's set up that his motivation we haven't heard his motivation but it's set up by other people who are guessing it that his motivation is to capture her so that he can kill her to dispose of the evidence of his interbreeding, okay?
Right. But
And
there
then
are moments in those exchanges when he's with her where you're
right,
like,
right. That's what I was about to say. Yes. Is
yeah,
that, but then when he does capture her, first of all, he's like calling her a mutt, and you're like, oh, okay. And
well, that's
then,
not good.
right, that's not good. And then he also, just because they're like, they have to make him so evil from a left wing perspective, he says to her something a father would never say to his daughter. He's like, you need to wear more makeup. You'd be more attractive if you wore more makeup.
Yeah.
Which
Oh
I'm
my
like, what
God.
the fuck? And then, but then there's like this. So then he finds out that it is his daughter. So they do some sort of super fast DNA test. And then he's taking her. This is why this is so bizarre. He's taking her to be killed. Okay, he's driving her to drop her off at like the hitman's like house, and she's like bad mouthing her mom. And he's like, "You shouldn't badmouth your mom. Your mom was amazing. Your mom was the best. Your mom was awesome." And I'm like, wait, what? Like, what is happening here? So we have the evil white racist man who wants to join the evil white racist club, who's willing to kill his own daughter because she's mixed, but he's like, don't talk bad about this woman. What the fuck? Like, what
Yeah,
is happening?
the mixed messages are off the charts here. Like, what the fuck is this guy's motivation?
Yeah, you're right. Like,
What's
because
going on? I even think in earlier drafts of the script they probably had some sort of redemption arc for Lockjaw.
yes.
And people came out and said, "Look, Paul, you can't make this movie. You won't be able to work in Hollywood ever again." And he's like,
Well,
"Oh, okay. I
there's a
guess we better
weird.
change the whole ending." Look, I saw an interview too
Mhm.
where Paul Thomas Anderson said that they didn't actually know how the movie was going to end when they were shooting it. I was like, "What?
Oh
The
my God.
for
That actually
real?"
makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. I was wondering if a lot of Leonardo DiCaprio's dialogue was just ad lib.
Improvised, yeah.
Yeah, because he just kind of like a lot of the characters in this movie just kind of go on and on and on and on with very it's very unclear what they think they're supposed to be doing in that scene.
Yeah.
But no, I thought the same thing because, and you're right, it's kind of interesting to compare it to a Quentin Tarantino movie because ever since everything in this movie resolves horribly anticlimactically, which is a common occurrence in a movie that hasn't been structured or planned out, that they're just kind of like free willing, free balling
Yeah,
shooting it
look.
because you can't really do setups
I
or
spend
payoffs.
50% of my energy on the ending of whatever I'm working on.
Right,
Like
right.
that, I think that much about the ending. Like the ending
Yeah.
is where you want people to stand up and cheer. Look,
Yes.
and Tarantino does as well, because, Inglorious Bastards, obviously, when Hitler gets it, you're like, fuck yeah.
Right. Yeah, right. And so Sean Penn, after he's dropped off his daughter to be killed, he's like driving away, thinking he succeeded, but the evil white racist Christmas club has already deduced everything that he's doing, meaning that everything and the way that the evil white racist Christmas club was able to figure out that Sean Penn had a mixed child, or the reason they believe it is that there's a random lady who was the Jungle Pussy lady who made the Jungle Pussy line, who was part of the revolutionary group. She, under interrogation, somehow knew that they had sex, even though we don't know how that she knew this. And she just says it to someone under interrogation. Now, you normally think, well, okay, well, would they trust that? Just some random criminal made some comment. But they trust it because they realize that Sean Penn is going out of his way, causing all this havoc wherever movie is taking place to get this child. And they're like, well, obviously it must be true because why else would he be doing all this shit? Right. And so so his own actions are what caused his own downfall. And so he's driving away, and the evil white racist guy drives up next to him, and he just taps on the window, or he says the motion to put his window down because the road's driving. It's like 70 miles per hour on the highway. And he does. And the evil white racist guy pulls out like a sawed off shotgun and shoots Sean Penn in the fucking face.
Yeah, and
And
he
then he
veers off the
crashes the
road.
car going 70 miles per hour. Okay.
And
So
then the one thing Bob could have done in the entire movie is just look, do the double tap, right? How do you know that guy's dead?
right. Bob finds him, in the
Bob finds him
car.
bloody in the car. And
Right.
look, I'm sure you thought it too. You're like, that guy's still alive. Make sure you you got a shotgun in your
Right.
hand, put it up to his head, pull the
Yes.
trigger.
No, so of course Bob doesn't do that because Bob is completely feckless in this whole movie. But so even though he got shot in the face with a sawed-off shotgun and then crashed his car going 70 miles per hour, he's still alive and
Mhm.
mostly fine. I got he's like blind in one eye and his face is like a little fucked up. You're like, holy shit, this guy's like the Terminator. Okay. like like how the fuck did he survive this? And then because he's also a fucking retard, because everyone's movie's a retard, he goes back to the white racist group and he still tries to convince them to let him join. And
Yeah.
when that scene starts, I think, oh, he's like gonna come back for revenge because he's gonna like kill everyone. He doesn't. He just goes back and he like tells them this insanely stupid story about like, oh no, it's not my fault. Like that black lady, she raped me. Like I didn't have
Yeah.
anything to do with it. And they're like, oh, we totally believe you. Wink, wink. And then they of course do, the scene from The Goodfellas where they're like, oh, here, why don't you come with us and you'll be part of our organization? And then they kill him.
Which
And I'm
is
like,
that's a huge contradiction. Why the fuck do you send one of your friends to assassinate the guy? I mean, if
when you
if
could
you were
just done
sending
this.
me, I'd say, "Hey, why don't we just do the office thing like we did with the last couple guys, right? Like
Yes,
why do
exactly.
I have to drive out in the middle of the desert and risk my life? Wouldn't the
Well,
office be easier?
well, and it
Because that
doesn't
guy
make
ends up getting killed.
Yes. How does it make any sense? So apparently they say, okay, Lakcha, you can be part of our group. Okay. And he's like, oh, I'm so happy. Here, you stay in this office. You just stay in this office and don't leave this office. We'll come right back. And then they have poison gas, like this organization. It's like the weird, like, what is going on here? We have the Star Wars Episode 1 poison gas technique. They don't just shoot them or whatever, right?
I know.
It
is so
they're filling
ridiculous.
the
You're
room
like,
with
that gas
poison
isn't going to
gas.
get all throughout the ventilation of the
Yes.
building.
I don't know. I don't know. But unfortunately for Lockjaw, he's not a Jedi, so he couldn't detect the poison gas, right? So they send poison gas in. He just dies, and then they have an incinerator on site
On site. I
for
know.
bodies, and they
What is
just chuck
that
them in
for?
there. And you're like, yeah, and you're sure so right. Like, wait a minute, why the fuck? Like, if they could have just done that, and they have this all set up this way, why the fuck would they have not? Like, why would they send the guy to
Yeah,
go
just
shoot him?
set a meeting. Hey, what are
Yes,
you doing on Monday? Come into the office.
yeah, right.
Let's talk.
Because even if the guy hadn't died, the guy who shoots him, now you have a body and a car crash that's going to be investigated by the
That's
police.
another thing. What the fuck? The cops are all over this shit.
I
She
know.
doesn't just kill a guy in the street. Not only that, the guy. I mean, how does she know this isn't some crypto bro on his way to Vegas? She doesn't know he's an assassin.
So
There's
at the end of the
there's no
yeah, no.
evidence.
Okay, I was wondering about that. So at the end of this movie, when the Leonardo DiCaprio's daughter like manages to be freed, she's
Mhm.
driving away, and they're on this like really they're in the desert somewhere, and there's like this really hilly road, and she sees a car tailing her,
Right.
or she
Yes.
thinks a car is tailing her. They're on a highway, so there could just be someone behind her.
Yeah.
Did they
Someone who
establish
wants to
why? Like
drive faster than her. No, they never do. They never do.
how? Yeah, so they don't establish why she thinks this guy's a bad guy at all,
Yes. Yeah.
and they also don't establish why the bad guy, how the bad guy knows that she's in that car in the first place either.
No.
He just
It's
knows. So the bad
it's
guy just
completely
magically knows,
ridiculous.
right? Which the bad guy should be thinking, oh well, Lockjaw took that girl to be killed, and she's going to be killed, right? Like that's all. That's all
Mhm.
he knows. He doesn't know that, like, oh well, it turns out that for no reason, or actually, it's because the white nationalists correct, because they set up the fact that one of the hitmen was Native American, so you can't trust them. And I guess they were right because he just randomly
That
decides to like free her and like kill everybody. I guess there's no line of dialogue where he's like, "Oh, I'm tired of doing the white man's," but nothing. He just does it. You're like, "What the?"
well,
I'm
and
like, "What the fuck's
he
happening?"
completely dies too, which it's
Yes.
that part was totally frustrating because you have the scene there, and I keep thinking, well, why isn't Bob doing this? Isn't he supposed to be? Isn't he supposed to risk something for his daughter here? If
I mean,
if
he was.
Bob had to go in there
Yes.
and end up getting shot, then we actually have some sort of character development. But no, Bob's like on the side of the road, hot wiring cars, and they got to have the Native American go in. And
Yeah.
I'm convinced it's just because of the taboo that, I don't need no man to save me, right? We can't have a white man come in and save this woman. We got to have the Native American bounty
Right.
hunter who's some
Right.
side character that nobody gives a fuck about. This
Right.
guy's in the movie for 5 minutes.
And they set up that Bob is supposed to be some sort of like demolitions expert who would make all these bombs and shit. So you think that that skill would be
Yeah, he could have
handy,
blown up the whole fucking
right?
house.
And like saving his daughter, but he never actually uses that skill to any capacity whatsoever.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, so she's being so somehow the bad guy knows she's in the car. Somehow she also knows the bad guy's in the car chasing her. We have no fucking clue how any of them know this. So yeah, that so she does something which I what she does to get him is smart because they're on a bunch of hills. So she basically parks her car in the highway like at the tip of the hill so you can't see it, and then runs to the side of the road so that he just crashes into it. Which okay, I
Mhm.
like that. At least that was kind of a smart thing to do. But then you're right, the guy gets out of the car. How does she know who the fuck this is a bad guy? I'm saying like, is she just gonna like murder some random like this could be just anyone? It's a highway,
See,
just a
look,
random person.
if this was real satire, it would just be some random dude that she blew away
Right, right.
because
Yeah,
that would be hilarious.
she just shouts the stupid like, and then we know from the movie's perspective that she also didn't know who it was because once the person gets out of the car,
She
she's
shouts the
shouting,
code. Yeah.
yeah, because they have like some communist code to like identify themselves, and she's shouting the communist code at the guy because she doesn't know who the fuck he is. So for all she thinks that literally this guy could have been trying to help her, and she sets up a car crash with him going 70 miles per hour on the highway. He could have fucking died. And then
You're
when he
right.
doesn't know the stupid code, she just fucking shoots him. I'm like,
She
what
blows him
the
away.
fuck
They
is
take off.
this?
There's no way that there's not some investigation going on with this murder in the middle of the street. That all these areas have counties and county cops. They're
Of
all over
course.
this
Well,
shit.
the
They're gonna
cops
bring
were
the
after.
fucking FBI.
We saw the local cops in the previous scene because remember they pull over Benicio del Toro and arrest him.
You're right. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
So the movie ends and it's supposed to be like a positive note where like, oh, Leonardo and his daughter, they like escaped and the daughter found a letter where it said that her mom loved her. That's so wonderful. How wonderful was that? Even though her mom was a psychopath. And then she hears on some sort of radio that there's like illegals being detained somewhere. And she's like, I am illegal Batman. I must save the illegals. And that's where the movie ends. And I'm like, okay, well, we have a couple of problems. Number one, how is she not being investigated for murder? Because there's a fucking dead body in the middle of the road. Okay, that's number one. And then number two, what happened to all the people that helped them that are now arrested or dead? Because there was a whole like nunnery of strong, independent black nuns who also grow marijuana that have all been arrested. And then you had the other lady from the rebel organization that helps the daughter escape, and the guy who arrested her implied that he was going to murder her.
Yeah, why did they risk the nunnery just to save this girl? That makes absolutely no sense. They're going to save the daughter of the woman that ratted them all out. Get the fuck out of here.
And then
They're going to
from
be
there,
like, que sera, bitch.
well, and then from their perspective, from the rebel organization's perspective, they should like, why are that? You're right. Why are they saving the daughter? Because they wouldn't even know. Like, they would be like, well, why would the police want the daughter? Like, they wouldn't
Yeah.
even know why they would be going after her in the first place.
Yeah, loyalty to the rat who ratted all of them
No,
out.
but I'm saying
and they
like,
talk openly about how she ratted them out. So
no. What I'm saying is like, they think the rebel organization, they think that the police have just like found out, or the ICE or the government has just found out where the people who are part of this rebel group are and are like rounding them up and arresting them. That's what they think is going on. Okay.
mhm.
From that perspective, why would they be investing all those resources in protecting the daughter of a criminal? Because the police wouldn't give a shit about the daughter. She didn't do anything. She wasn't part of this.
Yeah,
So why would they think that she's some important player in this movie to be protected in the first place?
they wouldn't. It's called plot armor, Sitch.
Okay, so this whole movie is just
This whole movie's plot armor.
that's why it's like it's weird. You know, listen, I was never a huge There Will Be Blood fan, but like I
Right.
thought, like I understand why people like it. I don't think There Will Be Blood is a bad movie. It's just not my type of movie. So it's strange for me to think, okay, the same guy who wrote and directed There Will Be Blood somehow made this piece of trash.
Yeah, so much of it though is about the revolution, right? It's this sacred material that I'm sure lots of people were in his ear giving him advice on how to make sure that this does justice to the cause, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can't really, if you're doing something that's so sacred to so much of Hollywood, you really have a bunch of landmines that you need to work around. So
Right.
I really think that's what destroyed this movie. Because I think the first half of the movie was a great setup for something substantial, something that really could have been memorable, something that could have made an impact on the culture.
If this movie was a parody about the ineffectiveness of like the retarded extreme revolutionary people who just make everything worse,
Yeah.
then it would have been very genius.
Well, look, that story would have had some substance, and that movie was set up.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd be curious how that movie would be taken by all of the people who are praising this movie to
It wouldn't
no
have been
end.
made. You're 100% right.
It couldn't
If-
be made, could it?
Yeah. If Paul
Yeah.
Thomas Anderson wrote a script that was about that, and it was obvious, or at least somewhat obvious, that that's what the movie was about, yeah, it couldn't have got Leonardo DiCaprio. It couldn't have got it, any of these people, Sean Penn, Del Toro.
So the revolution turns out to be a huge catastrophe, and Sean Penn, Lockjaw, and Bob team up in the end, not only to save the girl, but to take out all of the racists.
Mhm.
That movie.
That would be interesting. Yeah, both the racist, like if it was more
Because you have a classic stepdad and stepdad
Right.
and biological dad teaming up.
okay. This is the movie. Make the movie more funny. I like this. Make the movie more funny. Make it kind of more like
Well, dark
Quentin
comedy
Tarant.
is Quentin
Yeah,
Tarantino.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say, yeah,
yeah.
Quentin Tarantino is like a good person to like a good
Emulate.
feeling to emulate on this. Yeah, make it like a dark comedy where both the revolutionary group and the evil white racist group are just over the top and also over the top incompetent and stupid.
Right.
And yeah, you're right. Like the dad and the stepdad, the biological dad and the cuck dad team up, and then it ends with them raising the daughter together.
I know. They're like a gay couple.
Yes, because their deadbeat fucking mom ditched them.
Yeah, see? Look, I think you could do that movie serious or funny.
It should be funny. It should
The
definitely be
right
funny.
up until the DNA test, like that's the big turn of the movie, and you're thinking, "Wow, this is just chock full of irony here," because if it really is his biological kid, he has to kill him, and nobody like obviously every fiber of your being is against killing your own biological kid.
Right. You would
Yeah,
think there would be some. That's why I like his character so stupid and one dimensionally evil and uninteresting, except for the one time he was like, don't insult your mother. It's like, yeah, it would be a lot more interesting if he's actually conflicted about having to murder his own daughter.
yeah. And then Bob also, when Bob finds out, like Bob could get the results of the DNA test, and he just assumed that Willow was his biological daughter this whole time, and all of a sudden
Right.
he's got to confront this. Well, I raised another man's woman or another man's child, and then when he actually engages and goes to bat to save her, you're like, okay, well, he's making a conscious decision here that really tells us something about his character. He's like, fuck,
Right.
I've got a giant investment in this person, and it doesn't matter that she's not my biological kid. I mean, this is but not having him know, just having it left ambiguous. And I looked into it, and they supposedly left it ambiguous for artsy reasons, right? I'm like, what?
They didn't know. They didn't know. It's just because they're fucking stupid and lazy.
Do they
Because
even know that? Do they know if he's a cuck or not?
I don't. Well, because in the movie very clearly shows you they do some sort of DNA test, and we're told by Lockjaw if the thing lines up, it means that they're related, that it's his daughter.
It
Okay.
is Lockjaw.
So
She is Lockjaw's kid, but
well, so
we
but then well, hold
if
on. So I look it up, and there's all these fucking like retarded redditors who are like, no, actually, if you understand how the technology works, it's that test wouldn't
did
really
you
show
really?
you. Yes, wouldn't really show you whether that's his daughter, and it's just like he just doesn't understand the test. And I'm like, okay, well, is that
No
intentional now?
fucking way.
I'm
No,
like, is that
that's
supposed to
not.
be? Is
That's
that
not it.
intentional in the movie or like what the fuck?
Everything I read just says that Bob does, whether or not Bob knows. Because look, she gets the information, right? She knows that she's not Bob's biological daughter. They
Yes,
go back home. Does she have a conversation with Bob? I mean, have they ever talked about this? Has Bob
right.
already said, I'm not sure I'm your biological father?
Yeah.
All of that is pertinent to the resolving the conflict, is it not? Like
Yes.
I'm checking out of the movie going, well, there's still a shitload of conflict here that has been unresolved.
Yes. Well, you didn't have the scene. You need the scene where Sean Penn and Leonardo DiCaprio confront each other about
Yes.
this information, so that Leonardo knows.
Fighting at the same
Yes,
time. She's my daughter.
yes. So, because from Leonardo's perspective, from all the main characters' perspectives, all the protagonists' perspective, they should have no fucking idea why this guy is so dedicated on finding her. They should be so confused about what the fuck is happening,
Yeah,
and
totally.
yet
And
that
he's got
never
like a
comes up.
whole platoon of guys working for him as he's going in.
Yes,
They procure a DNA test so that he can do a DNA test on the fly.
yes.
Some little DNA test machine he has, some portable test that they can pull out.
Okay, let's watch your video.
Okay. This is my review of One Battle After Another. I'll start with a brief overview of the film, then I'll move on to a plot summary, and then I'll give some deeper story analysis. There will be spoilers throughout this review, so here's your spoiler warning. One Battle After Another is a movie starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Sean Penn, written, directed, and co-produced by Paul Thomas Anderson. The movie sets up an intriguing love triangle between its three leads, two romantically involved revolutionaries, Bob Ferguson and Perfidia Beverly Hills, and a military commander, Stephen J. Lockjaw, though ultimately the film fails to bring this compelling conflict to a satisfying conclusion. Great movies are structured around radical character transformations, and though the film sets up the villain, Stephen J. Lockjaw, for an intriguing and dramatic change, the filmmakers never commit to resolving the conflict they create in anything more than the most shallow and cartoonish way. None of our heroes go through anything more than surface-level transformations, leaving us with a resolution that seems hollow and unsatisfying. The film creates many potential catalysts for our lead's growth. Bob seems to be unknowingly raising another man's child, and not just any man, but the child of his antagonist, Stephen Lockjaw. But this primal conflict never gets addressed, or figures into the story's resolution in any meaningful way. While many progressive moviegoers will love this film for its revolutionary aesthetic, I'm sure many people will view Bob as a hapless fool, unknowingly duped into raising a daughter he wrongfully believes is his own. One Battle After Another also sets up the perfect conflict for a deeper examination of racism, but instead of exploring the thought-provoking racial dilemma the movie creates, this conflict is really never explored beyond a few comical one-liners. Setting aside some of the laughable performances and ridiculous stereotypes in the first half of the movie,
my name is Jungle Pussy. This is what power looks like.
the setup was interesting enough to take us someplace substantial, but unfortunately, that substance never materialized, and we got a very two-dimensional take on racism from a Hollywood that really only seems capable of depicting racism from a very surface-level, racism is evil perspective. I'll go deeper into this idea in my movie analysis, but let's start with a brief plot summary of the film. So do you agree or disagree with any of that?
No, I agree. And again, it would have been, you're right. It would have been very interesting for there to be this conflict, for Sean Penn's character to have some sort of conflict about his daughter. Maybe it makes him realize racism is bad or something, right? Like,
Well,
as opposed to just like, I want to be part of the evil white racist group that controls the world. Because for some reason, which we also don't know, they've decided to induct me into their secret right-wing white racist cult and give me power and money. And I'm so happy about that.
Right, yeah. All right, here's my summary. It's very brief. I've realized the briefer the summary, the better, which is sort of an art form in itself. Just, I think the plot summaries can get long and drawn out.
Right.
We begin with the French 75 revolutionaries Bob Ferguson and Perfidia Beverly Hills freeing immigrants at a border detention center. It's here that Beverly Hills forces military commander Stephen J. Lockjaw into a bizarrely sexual standoff that sparks a secret affair. Sitch's favorite still, of course.
I'm watching this, I'm like, why is this in the movie? What's happening?
They should have had a little pre-cum coming through his jeans there.
But no, but this is why this is like, maybe there's some tenji chest here, because it's like the entire conflict of the movie is set up by one of the heroes because they're fucking retarded and evil.
I know, exactly. If you just left the guy alone, none of this would have happened. As the revolutionary group goes on a crime spree, Beverly Hills gets pregnant, has a baby, kills a security guard during a botched heist, snitches on her entire crew to gain witness protection, then ditches both Lockjaw and Bob and vanishes. 16 years later, Bob has raised Beverly Hills' daughter as his own. Though which man is her biological father is still a mystery. While Bob is fathering Willa, Lockjaw is reinventing himself by joining a white supremacist group called the Christmas Adventurers. Here, Lockjaw is forced to deny his past relationship with Beverly Hills. Concerned about his secret past, Lockjaw tracks Willa to a commune of weed-smoking nuns where he runs a DNA test and confirms he is indeed the girl's biological father. But instead of bonding with Willa, Lockjaw hands her over to bounty hunters to be killed and buried, so his secret...
Now, I just want to point out, it is funny. You cut out like the majority of the movie.
because it's useless. I mention it in the analysis because it's irrelevant to the plot.
If you have his movie, Adam, from his plot summary, no, and you're completely right. You just went from the first act to the third act. You skipped the entire middle of the movie, which is just Bob running around trying to find his daughter and accomplishing fucking nothing.
It's so much an exercise in male humiliation. Bob cannot even jump from one rooftop to another without falling to like 5 stories to his near death where he's arrested.
Yes,
It's
even
like,
when Bob,
what?
this is so bizarre. Okay, there's a part. So Bob, like the whole thing is, um, the revolutionaries, they somehow know that they're coming for Willa,
Hmm.
and they hide her away. They grab her and hide her away. So Bob has to call to find out where she is. But since Bob is such a fuck up, he doesn't remember like all the code phrases or the code words or anything.
Hmm.
So they don't tell him where it is. So he kind of gets he like goes on this like long like rambling journey through the city to try to find out where his daughter is. And of course his cell phone dies because he doesn't keep it charged because he's a fucking retard. And he hooks up with Benicio del Toro, who's his like martial arts instructor, or I guess his daughter's martial arts instructor, and
Right.
he's also a secret revolutionary, but for a different
But
organization,
he's
I
like a
guess.
marginalized person who's running a
Yes,
secret underground railroad, rescuing all the brown people. So, of
of
course, he's
course,
competent.
right, and he's
He
high.
is
Yeah,
ultimately competent.
he's super competent, and so the police are coming after them. They're coming after Bob, and he's like, okay, here, you escape. You know, you go jump from rooftop to rooftop with these like skater boys who are going to help you escape. And he's like, okay. And they couldn't even have like the police are able to track them and stop the skater boys. And Bob was like, no, no, no. The only reason Bob gets caught is because the skater boys are jumping from rooftop to rooftop. And Bob is too out of shape and pathetic that he can't make the jump and he just falls. So
Yeah.
that's why he gets caught. So he gets caught because of his own ineptness. And then after he gets caught, the police don't figure out who he is. They don't figure out that he's the guy that they're looking for. There's a random nurse at the police station who just lies and says that Bob
And
is
lets him go.
diabetic
Yeah.
and needs insulin. And the police are like, oh, I guess that makes sense. And the nurse is like, I'm gonna like secretly let you escape for no reason except that I look vaguely Hispanic. So maybe I'm part of the revolution. Viva la Viva revolution. And then he escapes, and there is Benicio del Toro in a car waiting for him outside. And you're like, wait a minute, what was the point from a plot perspective of having Bob get caught just to have him just to have him escape the next scene
Yeah.
and go
Without
exactly back
any
to where he
sort of
started?
without any sort of character growth whatsoever. Like he did nothing to
Yes.
accomplish any of this. Yeah.
And you're right. The whole thing, that's why the whole thing is just like, well, it was just there for the humiliate to further humiliate Bob and to make him pathetic and a loser.
Isn't this a common progressive belief that really the brown people have to be ultra competent and the white people can just sail by on their racist privilege? So basically all white people are incompetent, but since they have this racist privilege, they're constantly in positions of power. Isn't that a common belief?
That could be like, you
Doesn't
think
this movie
that's
kind of
the thought
address?
process?
Yeah, don't you think that if you believe that, this movie makes perfect sense, right?
I could believe that was the rationale for what happened.
It's
Yeah.
just it's so bizarre. It's
Mhm.
so bizarre. And I understand this belief system inside and out. So do you. I don't the people living inside this belief system, they just see it as reality. This is just the way it
Right.
actually is. If I said that to someone inside the system, they'd say, "Oh, well, Adam, that's just true." Of course that's true. All white people are incompetent. Really? You think
Yeah.
all white people are incompetent? I mean, all these bounty hunters seem incompetent. They all get killed by one dude.
Yes.
One brown person with his ultimate competency.
Well, listen, he is a secret Native American tracker. Okay, so he's got like magic powers or something.
He smells the tailpipe and he knows, yes,
Yes.
leaded gasoline.
The ancestors spoke to him. They're like, you must save this girl. She will save many of brown people. Yes.
Look, he dies for it too. He gets
I know.
offed. I'm like, it's so insane. It's so insane.
Yep.
All right, let us continue.
Doesn't ruin his standing with the racist group. As Lockjaw drives away from the bounty hunters, a man from his own racist group tries to assassinate him. While Lockjaw is left for dead, Willa manages to escape her captors after one of the bounty hunters has a change of heart. After a frantic, high-speed chase with the racist assassin, Willa kills the assassin herself, though Bob shows up just in time to take Willa home. In a strange twist, Lockjaw actually survives his injuries. Lockjaw returns to the racist Christmas adventurers, only for them to gas and incinerate him him in a secluded office. Why the Christmas adventurers sent an assassin to kill Lockjaw when they could have just killed him quietly is left a mystery. The movie wraps up with Bob and Willa safe at home, where Bob shares a touching letter to Willa from her estranged mother. And it's never made clear if Willa has shared the information about her true paternity with Bob. It's deliberately left ambiguous so we as an audience can ponder the truth. Is Bob a heroic and loving stepfather or just a clueless cuck? Here,
So there's another thing too about Perfidia, which is horrible. Again, this is why it's so weird to me. Her character is intentionally designed to be fucking horrible, and I just feel like a lot of these like very politically NPC people are just blind themselves to see it, because they even have a scene where after she has a baby, you see that Bob is being like a really good father. He's spending a lot of time with the baby, loving the baby, being very attentive. And Perfidia's reaction to that is, I'm jealous that my husband is concentrating so much on the baby instead of me.
Yeah.
That's her reaction to having a good, competent,
selfish to the core. Yeah.
Yes, she's just such a horrible fucking person.
Look, and the ending is so shoehorned in. It's like, I think they're trying to give her some sort of redemption arc with the letter, and I'm just like, oh, like, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself.
Yes. And also,
Like,
we don't
here's
even
a letter
know
from your estranged cop killing mom.
Yes. Who it's unclear whether she's alive or not. We don't even know what the fuck happened to her.
Here's a letter from the woman who abandoned you.
Yes, exactly.
Aren't you happy?
Yeah.
Most kids in that situation would take that letter and be like, burn
Fuck
it.
this.
Fuck
Yes.
this woman. Like,
Fuck-
by then you're like, why the fuck did they abandon me? What
They
is this
abandoned-
piece of shit? You trying to work your way back into my life now? Go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
That's real human nature.
They abandoned you, and you found out that your mom was a rat and ratted out all her revolutionary
Oh,
friends.
I know. And you found out the guy she left you with isn't even your real father. You just left me
Yes.
with some random dude. What
And
the
it wasn't
fuck?
even set up like, oh, like they're gonna come after me, so I can never like see you, right? It wasn't even set up like in some sort of heroic way. Like, no, she just did it because she didn't even seem like she wanted to have a kid in the first place.
She's a giant piece of shit, but people who are praising this movie, I don't think they see that. I think they see her as the good guy. They're like, "Oh yeah, she's fucking great.
I like how she had sex with that evil white racist man to establish dominance.
Girl boss."
Yeah.
Was
you
it
see that-
is it dominance? Like, she's a prostitute basically.
So many people can't. This is like very weird. So many people don't have any really conception of story or understanding of
true.
plot or story. So they just see that scene. I don't know if I can find it again. You had that shot of that still of it. They just see that still of her pregnant holding the big gun,
Oh yeah.
and they
they're like,
go,
"Boss."
"Oh, she's a yeah." They just see that and they go, "Oh." They just see this picture. So many people, they just see this scene, they see this visual image, and they go, "Wow, she's so powerful. She's so strong. She's such a girl boss. She's pregnant and she has a gun. Oh my God, it's just like the height of female power." And you're like, well, if you actually paid attention, she's a horrible fucking person and is basically evil.
Yeah, she's risking her baby's life in this picture, and you're like, based, go.
Yeah.
You're like,
Right.
fucking. This is the thing. There's got to be some sort of analysis on why pregnant women are so prominent in all these woke Hollywood movies, because I think it really is showing that women have this power that men don't have. It's kind of part of the humiliation fantasy
It is.
that we're all being treated to in Hollywood now.
Well,
It's-
there's a very interesting inherent contradiction in the ideology, which is that on one hand, they want to say, oh my God, women are worth more than their ability to produce humans. and
Oh,
to
I
be
know.
to be mothers.
I know.
But then at the same time, but then on the same wavelength, it's like, but we're so powerful and amazing because we have this ability that men don't have.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you need to pick one of those. It's like
Yeah.
the 2-button meme. You got to pick one of those. Okay. You
It's
can't-
like, which way, Western society, right?
Yeah, right.
Pick a
yeah.
path.
Doesn't make sense to have both of them. But the entire movement is filled with contradictions.
Yeah.
Here's a few thoughts on the movie. Item number 1. The most depressing part of this movie is that it could have been so much better had the filmmakers actually committed to the contentious storyline they set up. Though I suspect progressive taboos prevented them from depicting anything more than two-dimensional racist and anti-racist characters. Because of this, none of the story threads are really compellingly resolved. There are no real satisfying character transformations or profound human change, and overall the movie just comes off as a disjointed mess of progressive power fantasies. By the end of the movie, we don't even know if Willa has shared the fact that she's the biological daughter of Lockjaw. Now, I have no issues with stepfathers, but the difference between a stepfather and a father who doesn't know he's raising another man's child is a chasm as wide as the Grand Canyon. Without this information, moviegoers might place Bob into the hapless cuck category, which is not a great place for a hero. One might wonder with present-day Hollywood's fondness for depicting male humiliation if this is not the actual point. In reality, Leonardo DiCaprio has a string of young, attractive women he discards regularly, but on screen he plays a hapless cuck as penance. Is this a depiction of the real world we live in, or just some progressive fantasy created by Hollywood? The second half of the movie revolves around Bob saving his daughter from Lockjaw, a homicidal maniac. But in reality, Bob could have stayed home.
Is that part of the meta? Again, this is sort of some sort of weird meta critique of Hollywood. Is you take the guy who is the serial philanderer, user of women, the guy who's famous for just dating women until they reach a certain age and then discarding them, and like, let me make
like
them
20 of them.
right. Yeah, let me make them a hapless, bumbling cuck. There's a chance, Adam. There's a 5% chance that this movie is some sort of bizarre meta critique. Okay.
That chance is 80%. It's not 5%. Think about the dynamics, right? Every single woman on the set, the coffee girl, the fucking makeup person is completely starry-eyed for Leonardo DiCaprio, right? All of the women working on this project constantly see that, right? All these young Hollywood helpers just lavishing praise on Leonardo DiCaprio all the time gets under their skin. They're like, what the fuck? What the fuck? We need to emasculate this guy. Bring the writers in. I have an idea for a scene.
Right.
Created by Hollywood. The second half of the movie revolves around Bob saving his daughter from Lockjaw, a homicidal maniac. But in reality, Bob could have stayed home and the outcome would be exactly the same. Bob never confronts the villain, the man who literally fucked his girlfriend and made him a cuck, except for a few shots at a distance. And of course, Bob doesn't really save Willa, as it's become a kind of taboo to depict men saving women. Willa is saved at one point by a Native American bounty hunter, but I suspect they get around the taboo by depicting her rescuer as a member of a marginalized group. Beverly Hills, Bob's philandering girlfriend and the mother of Willa, doesn't have a real character arc either. She has to be in the running for worst on-screen mother, maybe even worst person of all time. The filmmakers try to shoehorn in some kind of redemption arc at the resolution when Willa receives the letter from her estranged cop-killing turncoat mother. But any words in a letter are going to pale in comparison to her selfish and self-serving actions throughout the film. Willa also has no dramatic change or character evolution. Willa is a young woman thrust into a life-threatening situation where she learns the mother and father she thought she knew her entire life are completely different people. This life-altering complication is barely a speed bump in the narrative storyline. In spite of this revelation, she appears to be the exact same person throughout the entire runtime of the film. And Lockjaw appears as a Bob.
You know, and what else too? They have multiple times in the movie where characters say, "You're just like your mother, Willa. I can sense it. You have the revolutionary spirit within you." And then, yes, yeah. And then at the end, she does. So you're like, okay, wait, shouldn't it be like that she started like that? And then when she realizes that her mom is fucking horrible and everything she has to go through, she's like, fuck this. I'm just going to be like,
she gets a job as a barista.
Right.
She's like, I'm going to make something of myself. She starts going to college.
She does. Yeah. She becomes like a lawyer for some like,
no, she
some
enrolls in
somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. No, that would go with the leftist storyline, right? She'd be some sort of immigration attorney.
No,
she's
I'm
got to
saying
enroll
no.
in a trade school as a
no.
plumber or
I'm saying she gets like a law degree, but she's just like a corporate lawyer for just some random company. Like has nothing.
Oh
to,
yeah,
like, she's like protecting the copyright infringement
for ExxonMobil. She's an attorney. She's a defense attorney for ExxonMobil.
Right?
Oh,
like,
that would be great.
No,
That would be beautiful.
standard two-dimensional racist. His character transformation could be enormous, though present-day Hollywood is far too afraid to tell that story. They have to default to the story of an avowed racist succumbing to his unwanted attraction to black women, a complication he must resolve before he can achieve his lifelong dream of joining the knockoff KKK. I suspect earlier drafts of the story had some kind of redemption arc for Lockjaw, since without it, his actions don't really make any sense. If Lockjaw is dealing with some unwanted sexual desire, why does Lockjaw actively court Beverly Hills like some derelict OnlyFans simp? He later even professes his love for Beverly Hills to Willa. Why? Someone fighting a sexual addiction is more likely to venture down the real-life path of Leonardo DiCaprio than the journey Lockjaw goes on. Lockjaw overcomes countless obstacles to be with Beverly Hills, only for her to leave him in the dust.
Okay, I want you to know, all of these women in the video are actual Leonardo DiCaprio girlfriends.
Yeah, I assumed. I assumed.
Well, I thought you'd think maybe I just grabbed some hot chicks online. No, no, they're really his.
It is strange to me how these women must have no self-respect because they all know like what's going to happen.
Do you think? No, you have no idea the power.
You think they're all
delusion.
delusional? Like, oh,
yes.
after girlfriend 19, like 20, that's it. That's the magic number. Okay, I'm gonna be the one that wins.
Sitch. Didn't look. I told you this about the presidency too, and you didn't.
Yeah.
You didn't listen. You're like they all think they can be president. It's the same thing.
I see.
People have the ultimate power to delude themselves.
I guess
They do. They all think, look, it's going to be different with me. I'm going to be the one that hangs in there.
Well, it's just weird too because you're like, I got like it made sense to me that Leo could get all these women in the past. Like he's been coasting off of being Jack from Titanic his entire life, right?
Mm-hmm.
But aren't we at the point where like the next generation of Zoomer girls, do they even care about Titanic? Like, why would they even care about Leo? Is it just because he's just rich? Like he's not even really that attractive anymore. I guess he's like old now.
He's famous. He's a celebrity.
It's just because he's just a rich and famous celebrity,
yeah.
I guess.
They want to be able to go to all their girlfriends and say, I fucked a celebrity. Oh my
fucked
God.
Leonardo
I am
DiCaprio.
worthy.
He was really hot like 30 years ago.
I wonder if they get together. They probably have a Facebook group where they're like, yeah, I fucked him when he was in his 20s. You go ahead and have that dusty old Leonardo.
Right.
So sad.
Item number 2. Let us for a moment consider a film with a resolution that actually works. In the cult classic Pulp Fiction, mob boss Marcellus Wallace is determined to find and kill Butch Coolidge, a boxer who's betrayed him. After a violent and unforeseen series of events, Butch and Wallace are captured by two perverts who plan to rape and kill both of them. While the rapists go to work on Wallace, Butch escapes. But instead of leaving Wallace to die, Butch risks his own life to save the man who has vowed to kill him, setting up a fascinating question. Will Wallace forgive Butch for betraying him? Has Butch's self-sacrifice to save Wallace's life persuaded Wallace to forgive Butch of his betrayal? Of course, the answer to this question tells us something about human nature. It gives us insight into Marcellus Wallace's character and creates a compelling resolution to the story. One battle after another also sets up compelling questions over and over again. We are drawn into the dramatic irony of a whole host of situations, creating character questions which are never adequately satisfied. Whether or not a character smokes weed or knows karate does not give us any insight into that person's soul. Characterization is about how characters respond to difficult dilemmas. It's about making tough choices we as an audience can relate to. A man who knowingly raises another man's child has made a moral choice that a hapless cuck never has the opportunity to make. Even if Bob suspects Willa is not his daughter and decides he doesn't want to know, because ultimately he loves Willa either way, Bob is making a choice the movie never takes the time to consider. We are left in the end knowing little about Bob aside from his weed addiction and attraction to black women. These are your role models, boys. A man who wants to love and support his biological children is evil, and a man who loves a woman whether she's faithful or not is the pinnacle of moral saintliness. Are you listening, boys? All you need is some promiscuous cop-killing
Jungle pussy.
and your life will be complete. Now, had Pulp Fiction never resolved the storyline between Butch and Wallace, leaving it as art house vague as one battle after another, I doubt audiences would have been as forgiving as they seem to be of this highly praised film. Another giant question mark created by the film is, why does Beverly Hills get together with Lockjaw at all? Forgiving viewers might claim that she's forced to in the face of arrest, or that she does it so the resistance can continue without law enforcement interference. But ultimately, she does it either out of sexual desire or to prostitute herself for the cause. These are not the obvious actions of a hero.
Yeah, well, it's not even like if she had, yeah, if she had done it, like if Sean Penn or Lockjaw was like, oh, you have to fuck me or I'm gonna like arrest everyone, right? There'd be some sort of level of conflict. But he's like, oh, we have to have sex, and then you have to rat everyone out. And then she does.
Oh, it's such a contradiction, isn't
So
it?
it's like, well, okay. Yeah, so then I guess she
So
I guess
she
she
never
just is
had to
doing
fuck
it.
him.
Right. I guess
So she
just is
must
doing
love
it.
Lockjaw. She must really want that dick.
Well, it's weird because there's a scene. Basically, what happens is he follows her when they're going to some courthouse to set up a bomb or something,
Right.
and he finds her in the bathroom and he puts like a gun to her, and you think like he's just gonna like rape her in the stall right there, and I'm like, okay, like that would like make sense, but instead he's like, no, you have to meet me later at like a hotel or something, and we're gonna like get it on. And then she does, and she seems like she's into it. And you're like, what? Okay.
Well, doesn't it seem like he gets pegged in the ass too? There's one scene where you're thinking, okay, well, she's like shoving something up his butt.
He does.
More
Yes.
male humiliation.
You're right. I totally forgot about
Yeah.
that. She 100% pegs him in the ass too. I completely forgot about
Right.
that. Yeah.
That is another common narrative that all these racists are secretly gay. They just want butt sex. That's what they want.
I totally forgot about that. Yes, she because that was part of the thing. You're like, oh, and I at first you think like, is this part of the paternity uncertainty because you don't actually know if they had sex that could result in pregnancy because all you see is her peg him. So you're like, well, maybe that's all they did, right? But then I guess not, because they must have had normal sex because obviously it's his kid. But then that also there's like this weird scene where when Lockjaw has his Willa, his daughter there, she asks him, why do you wear your shirts so tight? And then his response is, I'm not gay.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a weird response to that question.
That's
but I guess now
totally
you're
weird
right.
response.
Now it makes sense with the pegging thing.
Yeah. Also, her performance seemed completely. I mean, she's girl boss all the way through. She's not. She has a lot of cards in her hand as soon as she realizes she's his biological daughter.
Mhm.
And she plays none of them, which just makes me think, okay, well, this person has a death wish, right?
Right.
I mean, it's complicated because you don't want the hero to seem like a weak. But I think someone really in that situation, a life or death situation, they'd be trying to befriend Lockjaw. That would be like the normal human reaction.
Right.
What is your take on that?
Well, or at least get more information because she thinks that he killed her mom, but
Right.
I don't think that is what happened. I think her mom just fucked off. So you think she'd be wanting to try to get more, and then especially when she finds out that he's her father, that she'd be trying to find out more information. Like, whoa, like that scene where he's like, "Don't disrespect your mom." Like, wouldn't the normal reaction be like, "What the fuck? You like killed my mom? What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
And then maybe he'd be
totally.
like, "Well, I didn't kill your mom." Though he did make some weird line like about I put your mom in the ground. So I don't know. It's very
It's
the whole thing
kind
is
of
so weird.
unresolved whether or
Yeah.
not she's killed. Even if he says he killed her, like unless they show me a shot of her being buried, I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
well,
no, yeah.
it's
right,
it's up
right.
for grabs.
The whole thing is this is when you said that this movie is being written as a film that makes so much sense. That really, really puts the movie in
Yeah.
perspective because everything is just long, rambling, pointless, doesn't really go anywhere. Everything's
Yeah.
resolved by random plot conveniences, not by the actions of any of the characters.
Yeah, there's not any sort of planning at all.
Yeah.
Script-wise planning. I should have made the Pulp Fiction section the last section because I think this item number 3, I think is way better. Item number 3. Here are some ideas to fix the character arc, character transformation issues. If Bob had actually saved Willa at the boathouse instead of some side character, we would see the risks Bob is willing to take to save his daughter. And if Bob does this even after he's just learned for the first time that Willa is not actually his biological daughter, we learn something deep and meaningful about Bob and about human nature. This movie could have also been legendary had the film tackled the complexity of Lockjaw's
racism. If Lockjaw's desire to join the white supremacist group, the Christmas Adventurers, was motivated by the unreturned love of Beverly Hills, one might ask, is Lockjaw truly racist? When Beverly Hills runs from Lockjaw and the Witness Protection Program, she leaves a note revealing, "This pussy don't pop for you." But are we to assume that if the pussy did pop for Lockjaw, this would be an entirely different movie?
How's my delivery on that?
That's a good point.
I'm working on my performance as well.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah, like because that could have been a whole thing. Like maybe he's not actually racist. He's just mad that she ditched him.
Yeah, look, they give him all sorts of excuses for being racism and being racist. And then I thought, oh man, they probably were like, we're making the wrong movie here. We're going to get in big trouble for this.
Mm-hmm.
Most interesting story dilemma the movie presents is offered up and then abandoned faster than Beverly Hills can abandon her children.
Ooh.
In the most pivotal and intriguing moment of the film, when Lockjaw discovers Willa is his biological daughter, the filmmakers have set up the ultimate dilemma for our villain and hero. We have arguably one of the most massive ironies in movie history, as Lockjaw waits for the results of Willa's DNA test. If Willa is his kid, he believes he can show her mercy. And if she's not his kid, he'll be forced to kill her so that he can enter the white supremacist group. These are epic stakes any mother and father can understand. But in this upside-down world of progressive thought, biological reality is pitted against progressive taboos. The same force that prevents Cuck Bob from ever questioning his love for a daughter most men would perceive of as a giant fuck you from the entire world allows racist Lockjaw to kill his own flesh and blood so he can join the racist equivalent of the Elks Lodge. Don't think about it too much, okay? This movie is not about examining the human condition. It's a blind attempt at subverting it. Great setup, great stakes, amazing irony, fumbled beyond belief. If Lockjaw only joined the Christmas Adventurers because he was rebuffed by Beverly Hills, and that perceived injustice propelled him down this racist path, his form of racism is qualitatively different than the other Christmas Adventurers who seem genuinely repulsed at the thought of ever being around black people. If Lockjaw would have married Beverly Hills, had she not left him, maybe he could have lived a normal life. The evidence of a real biological daughter from Beverly Hills could have awakened in him a need to revisit that life that could have been, setting our villain on a new path to save his estranged biological daughter, sparking in Lockjaw something I like to call a character arc. If Lockjaw, in the face of this new biological reality, decided to protect his daughter from the Christmas Adventure assassin coming to kill both of them, we have a far more interesting story than the cartoonish slop of a racist killing the daughter he's ashamed to have brought into this world. That movie dives into the complexity of racism and the greater human condition far more than this pandering trash ever could. Instead of exploring the far more complicated and compelling story the filmmakers set up, they abandon the story at its most critical climax, and likely because it would be blasphemy to depict some sort of redemption arc for any racist character. Once a straight white male character contemplates as much as a microaggression, he is damned to the pit of progressive hell for all eternity.
Rotten hell, bitch.
So I just looked it up. It's funny. You like the way you're telling this, you cut out an actual hour and 10 minutes of the movie.
Mhm.
It's just like superfluous. This is a 2-hour and 40-minute movie, and an hour and 10 minutes of it can just be removed because nothing happens and it's all pointless.
They probably should. This movie was, oh my God, it was 3 hours.
Yes.
I got up to the DNA test. And look, I was interested up until the DNA test because I thought, okay, well, this is going to go someplace. And then after that, I mean, where does that happen? Like 40 minutes in? I'm like,
No,
what
wait, no. The DNA test is like an hour and 49 minutes in.
it's that close to the ending?
Yes.
No.
You're no, okay, this is what I'm saying. You like the middle part of this movie is so boring that your brain just like cut it out. You just forgot it happened. Okay. Because they set up at the 44-minute mark in the movie. So first of all, the first like the literal first 30 minutes of the movie is all just the setup. It's all just the
Right.
flashback. Okay. Then you have 15 minutes to kind of establish what the fuck's going on in modern times. And at the 40-minute mark is when finally
Are you
the
looking at your
conflict-
notes?
No, I actually have the movie open. Okay.
Okay, good. Yeah.
At the 40-minute mark is finally when you have the beginning of the movie conflict is established. Where
Okay.
the
okay.
evil white racist, they call Lockjaw in and they say like, hey, we're going to make you part of the organization. And then he's like, oh shit, I got to go like make sure I don't have like a mixed race daughter somewhere. Okay.
Okay.
That's at the 40 minutes mark. Then all the way up into the part is just like them trying to get the daughter being taken away to the nunnery, the military people going to the school, Bob just running around with the sensei doing a bunch of nonsense, getting arrested, getting released. All this stuff takes place for the next hour of the movie. And then and then finally at like an hour and 45 minutes, Lockjaw catches up to the nunnery and then does the DNA test.
And does the DNA test.
So yeah, so you have an hour of this movie,
but there's an hour after.
happens.
There's an hour after the DNA test, right?
And then
because it's like three. This movie's like 3 hours long. It's insane.
It's a little bit less than an hour. It's like 50 minutes. Yeah.
This is a testament to the power of the dramatic question, because up until the DNA test, the dramatic question is, who the fuck does this girl belong to, right? Who's the father? This is like every Maury Povich episode on television, right?
Right.
Who is the father here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as that's resolved, then I'm like, oh my God, this movie just fell apart. That's when I immediately became bored. Well, look, I guess I was bored when Leonardo DiCaprio was running around being incompetent.
I think you were so bored, you just like went into like a zone out state, and you just were not like forgot. It lulled into like a hypnotic state.
None of those plot points are relevant.
I know, because nothing happens. Nothing happens for an hour in the movie. It's just filler. It's a filler arc. Yes.
Look,
it's an hour filler arc.
I like short summaries. Why am I going to put all that shit in the summary if it's completely superfluous?
And yes. And
why?
They also like the whole thing with Lockjaw, and like Lockjaw. It's so weird. There's a scene where the evil white racist, like near the end of the movie, or I guess near like the 1 hour and 30-minute mark of the movie, the evil white racists have another meeting to determine like whether what Lockjaw is doing. Okay. And Lockjaw's actions don't make any sense, because they're like, oh, well, we're mad because Lockjaw went to Portland, Oregon, or wherever the fuck this movie takes place, and he's causing problems because he went to some food processing plant for a fast food chain, and he arrested he arrested all the illegal immigrants that are working there. And I'm thinking like, okay, well, shouldn't they like that? They're a bunch of evil white racists. And they're like, well, no, we don't like that, because apparently the guy who runs the fast food chain is also an evil white racist, part of our organization. And I'm like, wait a minute. They're like, okay, we can't have Lockjaw be part of our organization because he maybe fucked a black girl and has a baby, but we can let the guy who's importing millions of illegal aliens in to do his labor. Like that. What? How does that make any sense? What the fuck? What do these people believe?
Yeah, that's a huge contradiction, isn't it?
Yes. And they just kind of like gloss over it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, they throw it in there, obviously, to cater to the progressive aesthetic, obviously, because that's like a big belief.
I know, but it's like, nothing makes any sense. It's like, oh, well, they're both evil white racists who want to purge all the non-whites, but then they also want the non-whites in the country to do cheap labor for them.
Yeah.
That's a contradiction. You have to choose. Okay?
Giant contradiction.
Yes.
Exactly.
And then, like, why did Lockjaw arrest those people? Like, they could have set this up so that it was realistic, and the characters were actually smart, where Lockjaw just can't. First of all, we don't know how he has any authority or power that he has whatsoever. Again,
it's ridiculous. The amount of power that he has too.
Yeah. He's in the military. Okay. He has a military rank, and somehow he's controlling the local police and ICE.
The colonel is right below general. So, I mean, that's a fucking huge rank.
Right. But like, I don't think a random military colonel could just like walk into a police station and be like, all right, guys, like, you all have to listen to me. I'm in the military. I'm a colonel in the military. You got to go listen to what I say. Like, that's not how any of this works.
And it seems like they're just killing people right and left.
Yes.
They completely buy into the law enforcement and do whatever they want, kill anyone indiscriminately.
Yes.
It's like Derek Chauvin's all over the place.
No, but why is he rounding up all these illegals? Like, he's just looking for the daughter. Why is he rounding up all these illegals? He's making this so noisy and like making this huge spectacle that if he's supposed to be trying to like hide that he's going after this daughter. Yeah. And yet he's making it the most obvious thing in the planet. And so I'm thinking like, okay, they should have had it so that he's like pretending that he's just going after like, oh, we just found information about like the French 52 gang and we're just going after them. And that's why he's like doing all the things he's doing to kind of like cover up the fact that he's trying to get the daughter, but he doesn't do any of that. It's just so obvious what he's doing.
Sitch, you don't understand how propaganda works, okay? You
Okay.
got to get the message in there about the illegal labor and the racist bosses that want that labor, okay?
But see,
And
that
in
would
order to
add
do that, you have to have a scene.
one of the good
I know. I agree with
good
that side.
storytelling. Some good storytelling. And this is I feel like this happens a lot more in anime and stuff, is when they spend a lot of time with the antagonist, and then the antagonists also have their own like conflicts and goals within them. That's part of why I think the original Avatar, The Last Airbender cartoon show was good, was because you had Zuko, who's the main antagonist trying to capture the protagonist Aang, and yet he has like all of his own conflicts and struggles with
Within
all
the
the other
group.
like
Yeah.
antagonists. And then that way, then with the end of the series, when he becomes like good, it kind of has that flow because he's been kind of like having his own struggles. And that also makes sense with Sean Penn's character. Like if they set it up so that he was actually smart and he's like, you see the movie instead of spending an hour showing Bob do nothing, instead you see like Sean Penn and he has to like actually work out a way to go after the daughter without making it super obvious. And then you see that the evil white racist group are like investigating him. And there's some tension there, like, oh, are they actually going to find out what he's doing or not? Like, you have a scene where he's telling them, like, oh, I'm just like trying to find the gang. And they're like kind of trying to suss out whether there's something there. Like, there's so many like little things you could do to make all the characters more three-dimensional or more interesting.
Yeah, and also to milk it. I mean, I can't believe they closed off the plot line so quickly. Just the guy shoots him in the face and he flies off the road. It's like, what?
Yes.
That's
And
it?
then, yep. And then the next scene, he just gets killed by the same group of people again.
Yeah. Come on,
For
you're
no reason.
writers. You got to milk the conflict. It's all about milking the conflict, guys.
Well, it's like
That's the milk. That's
it's
the
like they
mother
just
milk of storytelling.
well, this is what happened. They were on the road, Adam, filming
Mhm.
the scene, and they're like, "Okay,
With a
what
typewriter,
happens?"
typing
I
out
just
script pages as they
yeah,
go.
like they're like, "Okay, what happens in this scene?" And then the writer's like, I don't know, Paul. I guess that the evil white racist guy shoots him in the face, and he crashes and dies." And they're like, "Okay, good. We're losing daylight. Let's film it." And then they film it, and they're like, "Wait a minute, we need like 20 more minutes of this movie." Like, and it was kind of anticlimactic.
Oh my God.
It's
You
kind of
do
like
not need
horribly
20 more minutes of this movie.
it's kind of like horribly anticlimactic that we had the main antagonist just get randomly shot in the face by an evil white racist
Not
and then
even by
die.
the hero.
Not even by the
Then
hero,
there's
right?
no confrontation. The only confrontation is through the sights of a sniper rifle.
Yeah,
That's
for like
bullshit.
10 seconds, which he
These
misses
guys got to
anyway.
get hand to hand. There needs to
Right,
be some fucking fight going on.
right. And then they're like, "Oh, well, it's kind of anticlimactic." And like, "Well, how do we fix that?" "Well, he's actually alive." "Oh, he's actually alive." "Oh, that's what a twist, right?" That'll get audiences like, "Oh my God, he's survived. That's so crazy." "Well, what happens?" "Well, we only got 20 minutes left. We
He's
got to wrap
going
this
to
movie up."
Bob's. He's
So
going to
then
Bob's house to meet his daughter to apologize.
no, he just goes to the evil white racist group. Then they have like a random office space, even though I don't know why a conspiratorial evil white racist group that controls the world would have just a random office space in downtown Portland for some reason. But he just goes there and they're like, "Oh, you can be part of our organization because we believe your retarded story." And then they just kill him there and then he dies.
Yeah.
And you go, "Oh, so what was the point of not just killing him the first time?"
Yeah.
Well, because we wanted that shot of him walking out of the car all bloody because it looked cool.
That's
Oh, okay.
that is the problem right
Okay.
there. That
I
is the
got it.
problem.
I
They're like,
got
oh,
it.
this will look so good. He's not dead. Look, he's the Terminator.
That
In
was
the last scene,
yeah.
we're going to discover that he's actually a robot. And
Yes.
Bob, he's a robot where he implants semen into his mechanical dick.
Oh my God. That's
And tries
yes.
to impregnate the whole world.
Yes. So it's going to turn out that the evil white racist, they're going to try to gas him, but then the gas had no effect because he's actually a cyborg. He has
would be good.
robot lungs. Okay.
I like this movie 10 times better than the actual movie.
And then it turns out the evil white racists are correct because there actually were a bunch of evil robots that are running around trying to impregnate women everywhere to take over the human race.
Yes.
Oh,
Actually, they were
God.
developed by the racists, by a rival racist gang.
Oh my God. Yes. No. So Sean Penn shows up and they're like, we have to shut you down, Bob. And he's like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "You were a prototype robot designed to like impregnate all the black women to like breed out the black race and use like superior whiteness. But you were never supposed to catch feelings for them, Bob. So we have to like shut you down."
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
God.
You're a failed prototype. We have the new
Yes.
prototype right here.
Yeah. Suddenly, yeah. And then you see there's like another Sean, like old man Sean Penn, like comes out of the closet.
Yeah,
And he's like,
does
I
what
have
he's
no
told.
feelings for the black people. I must kill my daughter. And then he gets in a big fight with Bob, and Bob has to use his like explosive expertise to like blow up the robot.
Yeah.
See,
Oh,
this is a
yeah.
much better movie.
It is.
Item number 4. Most good movies are a debate over a contentious point of view. This movie is the perfect vehicle to debate the age-old belief that blood is thicker than water. But instead of admitting that sometimes blood is a compelling force for good, the movie would rather comically cling to the ideal notion of a blended family based more in progressive dogma than any social or cultural reality. Ultimately, it's this dogmatic stance that will make this movie a hit with those living inside the moral matrix of progressivism, but it will leave people like me, people desirous of a movie subversive enough to depict the world as it actually is, totally unsatisfied. Though this movie is garbage, the cinematic equivalent of a tire fire, rabid fans will no doubt lampoon this review, citing the movie's widespread critical acclaim. And you know what? That's fine. I get it. While this movie may rake in accolades and critical acclaim, any success is ultimately kind of similar to, I would say, a Minecraft movie. One battle after another stayed true to its leftist fans. Instead of depicting any kind of
I thought the Minecraft movie was much better than this movie.
Well, the story of the Minecraft movie was trash. Come on, you got to be honest.
It
about
had Chicken Jockey in it.
I know, but look.
It had Lava Chicken Song in it. It had
This had
memes
a
in
pregnant
it.
woman with a machine gun, Sitch.
Oh, God.
Come on.
All this had was Jungle Pussy. Not enough memes.
normal through line that makes logical sense with a cohesive conflict and resolution. We are dragged through another Hollywood cliche depicting strong women and marginalized communities, no matter how many innocent security guards they may kill, as the moral backbone of society, and depicting every straight white male as either a violent racist or a drug-addled cuck. One battle after another is not a good movie, but no one in Hollywood cares because it's their movie. It's a movie that gets the leftist aesthetic right. In the same way that Minecraft movie got the Minecraft aesthetic right. And therefore, everything else can be incoherent trash. Hey, thanks for watching my video. If you like this content and you'd like to see more like it, just leave me a little comment below that says more content like this. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.
So this is probably the most
How
controversial.
did you get that?
That
How
last
did you
scene,
get
that last
scene
scene, doesn't that last scene get you?
Huh.
That last scene gets me every time. I wonder
Wow,
how
I
many people
didn't-
have actually seen that last scene.
I missed that part of the movie where
Hey, thanks for watching my video. If you like this content and you'd like to see more like it, just leave me a little comment below that says more content like this. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.
oh, look at that. I missed the scene in the movie. Look, they're about to kiss.
Oh my
Wow.
god!
That was
It-
the conflict that
it
you really
cuts-
wanted. You needed that scene of Leo.
Well, no,
and
this
Sean
is
Penn
this is the end of the movie that we wrote, right? Where they
That's
team
true.
up.
They team up. They become gay husbands. God, this should have been either like just silly, like we were saying, like make it like a parody, or if you want to make it serious, it should actually be the way it's set up. Would actually be kind of a hilarious centrist, enlightened centrist movie, because the point of it would be that both the leftist radicals and the evil white racists
Are bad, the
fucking-
bad guys?
yeah, are like
yes,
bad people
yes.
and horrible and also stupid and incompetent.
And the racist and the cuck team up.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like you could even have like the whole setup is the same, and then like part of the thing is that when Sean Penn decides he's going to protect his daughter, you find out that the evil white racists, they don't really control anything. They just kind of like LARP at controlling everything. Like it's not even
Yeah.
really true. So there's a lot you could do.
This movie had so much potential, and that's what's just it's so maddening to hear so many people say, "Oh, this is the best movie ever made." You know, this is the best movie of the 2000s. It's like
This
what?
is the worst movie of the year. This was worse
I
than the
thi- I
Ice
think
Cube
so.
movie.
This is nominated for Best Picture, though. And look, how will you feel when this wins Best Picture?
I won't be remotely surprised, even
Of
slightly.
course, but it's a fucking travesty against humanity. It's a travesty against filmmaking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know, because it is up against Sinners.
Oh, really? Uh-oh.
So Sinners might win because
There's more
'Cause
brown
also,
people in
you know,
Sinners.
race movie, but actually made by black people.
We
So
we never reviewed Sinners. We should probably review Sinners.
I've
We have
never
an
even seen
we have an
Sinners.
excuse now since it's. Oh, I saw Sinners. I definitely saw Sinners. Yeah. All right. So that's my video. What'd you think?
I thought it was good.
I got better at my performance. I really. It's so hard for me reading. I just jump into like reading mode, but you really have to like
Right. Yeah.
have a performance. So I'm kind of working on that.
You'll get it again.
I want to do more, but the thing is, like if I made this video 2 months ago when the movie actually came out, you know, I'd have a chance at getting at least 10,000 views, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is old news. You just can't make videos about old news.
Mm-hmm.
You got to talk about the current thing.
Right.
Yeah. But short videos are the key.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anyway, any final thoughts? Or I guess we have a couple super chats to read.
Well, let me actually. I took a bunch of notes.
Oh, you did? Okay, you got more to say. Go for it.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else. I think we covered it all.
We're trying to keep these short, and one of the reasons why I wanted to make the video was I knew I had a lot to say about this, and I felt like if we just did a live stream, it would end up being this live stream. We're already pushing 2 hours. So
I can't believe you didn't bring up what I thought would be your number one critique of the movie.
Okay, what is it?
This movie has insanely annoying background music.
Oh, okay. I really don't mind music in movies.
That makes no sense to me.
Well, usually the thing is they have a music director that picks a song that's going to go with the mood of whatever it is. The big problem I have with music in videos is that the mood of the video is generally school lecture.
Right.
And the music just completely contrasts with that in a weird way.
I never did that. I always tried to have the music be moody related. You still didn't like it.
Yeah.
You jerk.
No, I just because you would use it for too long.
Okay. Well,
and it would drift into school lesson.
It was the same.
And the song would still be like circus music. I'd be like, what the fuck? No, we're at the lecture part.
There was so many. This movie had so much background music. I rarely ever like notice music in movies unless it's like good. Not really ever if it's bad, but this movie, I'd just be sitting there because it'd be so many scenes like of just characters walking or saying very little. And the music is so loud. And it's just this very obnoxious, like sounding like a same like 5-second loop of music that would just play.
I
And
hate
I was
too.
just like, oh my God, it was so horrible. So
that's
obnoxious.
another big problem with videos. They do a loop that's 30 seconds long, and the loop goes over and over again. The music in Chainsaw movie, I think was Chainsaw Man. I really remember that music. I don't focus on music a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the music in Fight Club is great because there's like a Pixie song, and I love the Pixies. And
right
when it's a familiar song, you're like, oh, the Member Berries, they got me.
Mm-hmm. I think the only other notes I have that we didn't cover already is there's one part that was kind of funny. There's, of course, because of the subjects of the movie, they have to have a scene where there's a bunch of protesters fighting against the police to save the illegal immigrants. And Sean Penn is there, and he's like, all right, send in Agent Van Halen. And then you see there's like a black van pulls up, and there's an like FBI guy dressed up like a fake Antifa person who starts throwing Molotov cocktails just to give the police an excuse to go after the protesters.
Yeah.
So they hit all the tropes. Like even the protesters are innocent baby angels Aladdins who don't do nothing wrong. And whenever someone does something violent, it's some sort of false flag from the police. I was like,
yeah.
Oh,
they use that in Andor too.
Yeah.
But I thought much more effectively in Andor.
And then there's one other thing that's weird too, is like they have the scene where it shows Benicio del Toro's character that, you know, they have all, I guess they have like this, all these illegals living with them or something, or part of this underground railroad. They have all these illegals that they're hiding. And I'm like, there's a lot of mixed messages here where we're supposed to believe that all these fucking people are so desperate to come to America because America is so awesome that they're going to do so in this illegal fashion and hide from the police and all this other stuff. But at the same time, we're told that America is an evil, racist country run by evil, racist people. This is a huge contradiction in the messaging.
A constant contradiction. Yeah. They'll never address it, though. If
No.
we're the evil, white, racist empire, why does everyone want to come here so badly?
This movie was so bad. I just can't.
It'll never be addressed. Yeah. And then insult to injury, I think we both had to pay $20 to watch it. And then it came out on Netflix. It's on Netflix now.
It's on HBO Max. It's
Oh,
on
okay.
Netflix too. Yeah.
No, it's
But-
on HBO.
Okay.
I saw it on streaming and I was like, fuck you movie.
Yeah. Well, because you want to see it earlier.
Yeah.
Did you notice Bob using liberals and insult to the guy on the phone? I did. Yeah, I did. It was so weird because
Really?
he's talking.
Wow.
He's talking to the guy on the phone, and the guy says like, "Oh, you're triggering me. You're vocally triggering me or something." I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh, that's weird." I'm like, "That's weird." They're like making fun of like the left, but then it like zooms out and you see it's like some white guy, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like the guy that helps Bob is black, and the guy who's strong, who's getting Bob's way is white. It's just so. God, this movie's so fucking bad.
Yeah. Yeah, but people love it, man. It can't be bad because look at all the critical acclaim. But look, it flopped at the box office. So
Yeah.
everyone's saying it's a loser economically. But who knows? If it wins Best Picture, a lot of times it gives the movie new life. And so it might make a bunch of money if
Bob
it wins Best Picture.
Noguchi, thanks for $10, says, I actually enjoyed the movie. Politics aside, I loved every moment with Del Toro on screen. The entire second act was great cinema. Also, Vista Vision as a format and music score were very well made, in my opinion. Well, I think you like it just because your name is Bob and Leo's name was Bob. So, well, I understand. There's people like movies for different reasons. And if you're a person who is very visually oriented, and so you can watch a lot of very visual scenes where it's shot very well, like the shots all look very beautiful, and it looks a certain way, then you could watch this movie and you could like it because the cinematography of the movie is good. It's well shot in that context. But I'm visually autistic. I don't care about visuals whatsoever. They don't really do that much for me. So I focus
Blasphemy.
really. I know, it's just me. It's just me. I'm like, when you have like the guy who thinks of the picture of the apple, I'm like, I'm not quite the last one with zero apple, but I'm like number 4 on that one. I could like see the red blob in my mind. So for me, I just hyper fixate on plot and character because that's what sticks out for me. And just this movie is so bad in those regards. It just makes no sense. It's a complete disaster. So everything in this movie is horribly contrived from a plot perspective.
I'll make a comment because I think also it's telling that you're mentioning Benicio del Toro's character, which I think Benicio del Toro did a great job. And look, I don't want to shit on anyone. I didn't like the movie. If you like the movie, if you think it's great, you want to watch it once a year because it's your favorite film, that's fine. I got no problem with that. Okay. Benicio del Toro, you mentioned him specifically, and you got to admit Benicio del Toro is the most competent character in the movie. And it is interesting. We are intrigued. We like to watch people doing things and being good at them. We like to watch competency. I noticed the same thing in the Superman movie, who everyone's favorite character seemed to be Mr. Terrific, right?
Right.
And Mr. Terrific was incredibly competent. He was the competent character. So look, I enjoyed watching Benicio del Toro be competent as well. I wish it would have actually figured into the fucking story, but
yes,
it was still great. It was good filmmaking, and his performance was great. But I just like we've said a million times here, it's just that's completely divorced from the story. You got to look at the story. At the end of the movie, I want to stand up and cheer. I want to see something that makes me think, "Fuck yeah, Luke destroyed the Death Star," right? I want to see that, right? I want to see Linda Hamill fucking kill the Terminator. I want to see his little fucking light go out. Okay.
Right.
I want to cheer. Somebody did something amazing.
It's
That doesn't
I'm,
happen in this movie.
I'm glad you brought up competency because it's like this weird thing that I don't understand why like so many Hollywood movies and so much anime too fails to understand this like very basic concept, which is you either want to see a character who is competent, they could be evil, but you want to see them be competent,
Yeah.
or have them like the character arc is them becoming competent. Like that's what you want to see. And I don't understand there's so many movies, so many anime where the main characters are like horribly incompetent, and you're like, what the like? Why is this structured this way? Who like why just make them likable, make them competent? But
Yeah, totally.
the only
It's
time,
easy.
yeah, like when you have the horribly incompetent character, that only really works in comedies. That's like the only time it really works. Or if it's
Yeah.
a movie where it's them becoming competent, or both. Like I think a classic, like a good example of this would be Into the Spider-Verse, because Miles is horribly incompetent for like 90% of the movie, but it's done funny and you're rooting for him to become competent, which he does at the end of the movie.
Nightcrawler is a great example of an anti-hero or a bad guy that's super competent because he's just such an interesting negotiator. So you're
Right.
on the edge of your seat watching that. Yeah. Competency is really the key.
Yeah. Or like Breaking Bad, another good example. You want to see, Walt do all this bad shit. And it's interesting because you're
Exactly.
like, how is he gonna like figure his way out of all these different situations? Which he does, usually.
Yeah.
Joshua Babdilo, thanks so much for the $5. Says, I watched Children of Men with my brother after watching this movie, and I gotta say they don't make them like they used to.
Children of Men is probably one of my favorite movies. Definitely in the top 10. Have you
I gotta
seen
see.
Children of
I've
Men?
never seen
Children
it.
of Men
No.
is amazing. Children of
Everyone
Men
says
is an
that. Yeah.
amazing movie. Yeah. Yeah. Excellent filmmaking, excellent story. Just, oh my God. It's just, you're on the edge of your seat the whole time. You're totally
Mhm.
wrapped up in the narrative. Yeah. Great fucking movie.
Brian for $10 says, my $1 million question for you guys is, why did I hear from people that this was a good movie, even by people who admitted that there was a Parson Left Wing movie, almost wasted my time? I think it's what I said earlier. It's if you are if good visuals and I mean the acting was fine too. If good visuals and acting like appeals to you and that's enough for you, then you can watch this movie and be like, oh, this was good. If that doesn't appeal to you and you heavily fixate on story and plot and character, I don't think you're gonna like this movie because it's nothing is really there.
And I think it's the Minecraft thing. Like the people really loved the fuck out of the Minecraft movie because they played Minecraft and they were like, this is us. This movie represents us and we're going to like it no matter what. And I just think the
Right.
leftists feel the same way about this movie. They're like,
Well,
this
yeah,
movie
but
is us.
yeah, yeah. If
This
you
is
like the
our
politics,
movie.
if you agree with the politics, you're gonna like it. But for the people that didn't agree with the politics and still thought they liked it, that'd be why they just like the visuals and that filmmaking aspect of it. Things that I'm immune to as an
Right.
autist.
It's hard for me to imagine that it's like not 90% of that audience is the politics. Just because young
Yeah.
people obviously are, they're all leftists. They're all total. And if they're not leftists, they pretend to be so that they can fit in.
Right.
Yeah.
J. Slash for 10 Canadian says, I mostly agree with the critique. However, I do think Anderson is showing how absurd both extremists are. Also, a lot of events by the lefties are based on Black Panther events. I think it's completely confused because I was watching it too, and I'm like, okay, it's very obvious that the Perfidia character is written to be fucking horrible. Like she's not a character you're supposed to like. Now, I don't know if the people watching this movie that liked it, that were very left wing, I don't know if they actually get that from the movie. I don't know if
No,
they go, oh,
I
well,
think
that
they
character
look at
is
her and
horrible.
they're like, based.
Yeah.
My girl.
I think, as I said, when you said that this movie was not fully written when they started shooting, that it all clicks into place. I don't think they knew. I don't think Paul Thomas Anderson had any fucking clue what this movie was supposed to be, what the point of the movie was. I think they just had some sort of vague idea about something and they shot it and made it look pretty. And that was really his main focus.
There are filmmakers that do that masterfully. They figure it out as they go. Yeah.
Well, he is not one of them.
Yeah.
There's
I'm
an-
not one of those people either. I
If-
gotta figure out what that ending is.
If you make a movie, just wrap this around your mind. How is it possible that a person could make a movie that you could cut out an hour of it, of the movie, and it would have no impact on the story at all, or the themes, or the character development, or anything? You could literally cut an hour of this fucking movie out and it would have no impact. You wouldn't even miss it. It wouldn't make a difference.
That's product placement though. You got to have that hour in there because it's product placement for left-wing politics.
It's crazy. The entire hour sequence of Bob trying to find his daughter and then not finding his daughter is insane. The fact that if the movie started, okay, or I should say at the 40-minute mark, Lockjaw is going to try to kidnap the daughter to do the DNA test. If no one stopped him and he just spent 5 minutes going to the school, capturing the daughter, doing the DNA test, and then sending her off to be assassinated, the exact same ending would have occurred. The assassin guy would have turned on them for whatever fuck reason he did. She would have driven away.
Lockjaw got shot in the face.
Yeah, the evil white racist still would have killed Lockjaw. Nothing would change. Like, how could you have a movie where the main actions of the characters has no fucking influence on anything whatsoever? That's crazy. That's retarded. Why would you write a movie that way?
He says, "Oh, I got to save a revolutionary 75 twice in one day." He's all excited about it.
Yes.
And I was like, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They can't save themselves? That's a little embarrassing.
Equishadox for $5. Thanks so much. It says that Jungle Pussy got Stitch and Adam acting unwise. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
That's right.
Oh.
Laughable. All right. Anything else, or are you good? Did you say everything you needed to say?
I think I said everything there is to say about this movie.
All right. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And we'll see you later.